Augustus, I'm reading some interesting article about some of the quickest EuroLeague coaching firings. And that article was right after Žalgiris fired Martin Schiller 4 years ago. It was October 8th, and he was fired after the second EuroLeague round. And back in the day, in 2021, Schiller became just the fourth coach fired after the second round. And what's interesting, that actually Žalgiris fired two coaches in the first two rounds, Ilija Zuros in 2011. Another Lithuanian name, Rytas fired Aleksandr Džikic 2012, very early. But these are the records that actually happened before the biggest record of all time, I guess. When Virtus fired Sergio Scariolo in September 15 of 2023, when the season didn't even start. So, yeah, we already had some quick firings, and one is incoming at the moment with Sfairopoulos and Zvezda Belgrade. It's widely reported already that Sfairopoulos is set to leave the club. What is interesting, at least based on Serbian media reports, that he might coach the team in the round 3 game against Fenerbahce, because the game happens on Friday, while the team is also in the final stages of agreeing and finalizing an agreement with Sasha Obradovic. So the timing, are you expected that it happened so early? We cannot say that we're expected or surprised. We just had this podcast guessing if, when this podcast will get published, if Yanis Sfairopoulos actually remains as the head coach of the team.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm surprised, but, it's not the first time Crvena Zvezda changes the coach quickly in the season. Okay, it's super early, but they are known for making a lot of head coaching changes. I think if you count the last 10 years of all clubs in the EuroLeague, they would be among the top clubs who changed coach mid-season. So, but to me, the big question here is, it's just 2 games. I know you had a bad preseason, you had a lot of injuries, but if you decide to go with the coach, after last season, which wasn't very successful, Zvezda missed the playoffs in the EuroLeague. They lost in the ABA League. They didn't make the finals. Yada, yada, yada. But if you decide to continue with the coach after a season like this, you kind of think about giving him more than 2 games where, they don't have like 5 or 6 rotation players. So that's to me a bigger question to management, really. And I've been questioning their decisions for a couple of years now. It's just how they pick players and how they pick coaches. Sometimes can seem a little bit random. I'm talking more about the players. It's just they are trying. To me, it seems like they're trying to buy just the best available player, not looking at how it might fit together. How the lineups you can get, what lineups you can get from those guys. So management to me is the bigger thing here, and the same goes with Sfairopoulos firing. It's just 2 games, and you have a lot of injuries. So you kind of, if you decide to stick with him, I would think you have
to give him a chance to have a proper situation to coach the team.
Yeah, like more than 2 games. More than 2 games. I know the situation doesn't look really good, but at the same time, he can say, hey, I have a lot of injuries. I have a lot of new players and all that stuff. So
our colleague from BasketNews, Lazar Šutović, is actually preparing a story for BM Plus members on the BasketNews.com platform. And I had a quick look on the story, and I saw a sentence that kind of explains the situation perfectly. Sfairopoulos was fired too early, but too late as well. Like too early into the season, because he didn't have a proper chance to coach the team, to wait for his important players to get healthy. We're talking about 2 probably main backcourt players, Isaiah Canaan, Devontae Graham. I mean, big man Joel Bolomboy. He was about to have all EuroLeague season that year, and he's fired too late just because of the reasons you mentioned. If they didn't have a confidence in the head coach, you're not keeping him throughout the summer to give him a chance to coach the team for the 2 EuroLeague rounds. It just doesn't make sense, because Yanis Sfairopoulos made a lot of roster adjustments. He made He approved a lot of signings. He changed the team's identity because you could see a lot of Serbian players leaving the team. I think that it's not like Yanis Sfairopoulos didn't want any Serbian players on the team. He just had a different vision on the team. But in my eyes, Zvezda was the most competitive when they had the core of solid Serbian local players. For instance, I loved Luka Mitrovic as a big man for that team. I think he was an important piece of that roster. Then Nikola Kalinic was playing a huge role on that team. They were successful. You could add a couple of other important players on the team. Forgot the name of the captain that they had. The perimeter player who doesn't necessarily score, but who...
Branko Lazic.
Branko Lazic, yeah, exactly. I mean, he's not a star name, not even close, but he was important part of the team. You know, he was important part of that identity. I think that's when Zvezda was the most successful. So adding some solid pieces that fit, that make sense, fulfill the team's needs. I think that would be the best way for Zvezda. Now they went to another direction, and now you're also getting a head coach after 3 EuroLeague rounds who might have a different vision. And I think that Sasha Obradovic is the guy who would like to have all those Serbian players on this roster. So it's just too much of, as you mentioned, too much of a change every time. It seems like Zvezda is the team that is probably the frequency of coaching changes in the EuroLeague is the most. The team that has the most frequent coaching changes. At the same time, it feels like, as I mentioned...
But do you think it's the right decision?
To change coaches like that? No.
Do you think
it doesn't make sense to me?
No. Do you think it's the right decision to change Sfairopoulos? Don't look at the timing.
If Sfairopoulos was fired before the offseason, I would say I get it why. And you start a new page and you build a new team. After you went all of that throughout the summer, keeping the coach, signing a lot of new players, building a team for him, to change him after 2 rounds, to me, it doesn't make much sense. And I think that he deserved an opportunity again to have a full roster.
I agree with you to a certain degree, because at the same time, I'm watching Zvezda play for these couple of first preseason games, first couple of EuroLeague games. Offensively, there is really not much of an idea how you want to play. It's just basic isolation most of the time, one-on-one. There's no movement. There's I don't see many things that other teams do when you are trying to play isolation basketball. And it's, as I mentioned in the previous clips, Zvezda had the most players of their core. Nobody really missed Eurobasket because there were almost no Serbian players. There are almost no Serbian players on the team. So it's kind of a little bit mind-boggling to me. How can you have the whole preseason with almost all the core? Okay, you have injured players, yes, but you still don't really show anything offensively that like I can watch this and say, oh yeah, this is what they were emphasizing during the preseason. But the timing is...
I don't like the way they play, but at the same time, if I'm the management, I mean, I'm aware that it's his style. I'm aware that there's going to be a lot of ISO basketball. And if I approve those signings, if I approve the coach vision, I mean, it means that we're on the same page. If suddenly they don't like the way the team was playing, I mean, where you've been before, there should be some meetings, discussions, brainstorm about the team, about how it should look like. So even before making all those signings. So
like I said, it goes back to management. It goes back to management. Like I told you like a couple of summers ago, or this was last summer, the way they construct the team, to me, it feels like they're playing the EuroLeague fantasy game. We have this guy, we can offer him this much money, we want him on our team. We don't really think how he's going to fit. Like this summer as well, you get 2 forwards, similar type of forwards, Semi Ojale, Chima Moneke, and you don't really get a big guy who can stretch the floor next to them. You paired them with a point guard that is also not a shooting threat from deep. I mean, how are you thinking to score offensively with 3-4 non-shooters on the floor at the same time? Like, We are playing modern basketball. We're not playing 70s or 80s basketball anymore, where you just push people around, play great defense, and you score 57 points and you win the game. That's not going to happen. You need to score somehow, some way. And
it feels like when Zvezda had less money, the roster made more sense, at least fit-wise.
yeah,
I remember
maybe.
those times of Dejan Radonjic, for instance. You have a clear core of Serbian players with all their strengths and weaknesses and their limitations, and you add those pieces with 3 or 4 or 5 foreigners that kind of gives you what you're lacking of with the Serbians that you have, and that's it. Now you're buying too many players. You're overpaying for many of those players as well, and there is this randomness sense, like picking all the best players, as many players as possible. Okay, this coach is with this coach everything works. Okay, oh, it's not working anymore. Okay, let's change a coach. I mean, no continuity, no. I mean, it's just too random.
Big picture is lacking, and man, that Radonjic team was playing super hard defensively.
Yeah,
At
that
least
team had
that.
identity.
Intensity, energy, and yeah, it was actually fun to watch.
But hearing your concerns, I feel like you also want to say that Sasha Obradovic might not be an answer to Zvezda's problems, because it might be not about coaching that much, but about the team and its limitations on the paper at the moment.
I think Zvezda will still be competitive. It just seems that they should have higher hopes. Of making the playoffs. They have high hopes, but I'm not sure if they are going to able to fulfill them. I think with Sasha, some things going to change. Monaco was playing great defense. With him, offensively, it was a guard-oriented basketball, because you had, of course, Mike, Eliokobo. You had a lot of isolation plays. So it's interesting to me now. He's in a team that's completely different. Who is going to play 1-on-1? Tyson Carter, Devontae Graham when he returns. But this team's strengths lies somewhere else. So it's going to be interesting. I think Sasha can do a good job in this team. But yeah, I'm not sure how high he can, make this team go. What do you think?
I like this decision. I think that Sasha is better prepared for the challenge when he was 5 years ago, when he was fired again a few months into the season. I think he matured a lot. He learned and he showed that he can adjust, because the Sasha Obradovic that was in Zvezda in 2020 and Sasha Obradovic that took over Monaco, these are two different persons, actually. And it was a shocking adjustment by Sasha that many of his players recalled. But at the same time, it just shows that he's flexible, he can adjust. Although this team is a bit different, although it's also quite similar, right? Monaco also had some spacing and shooting problems, especially with the frontline players. They also had, big forwards who can play multiple positions with Diallo, with Blossom Game. Now we have Ojale and Moneke. It's going to be interesting to see how he's going to utilize Moneke.
Exactly.
After his first chapter. Although I think the situation is different. Chima Moneke was the in-season signing. He joined the core that played together for quite some time. At the same time, Foreman is not really getting a lot of, at least in that Monaco team, any Foreman had some, let's say, issues how to be utilized in his best way that he would like to as well. So they have scoring potential. The problem is that they're quite raw. I mean, Mike James, Jordan Lloyd, they were EuroLeague veterans, experienced players. Okay, Okobo was an up-and-coming player, but there was more experience on that team. Devontae Graham, Tyson Carter, even Jordan Nora. I mean, by EuroLeague standards, they're still quite raw players. So, I don't know. I mean, Sasha Obradovic is a better coach. I think that he will thrive under pressure better than before. I think he learned a lot throughout his Monaco years. He can unleash some individual talent. For instance, Mike James, he never played in any other team. He didn't play that long like in Monaco. Sasha, I mean, everyone was saying, oh, Mike is difficult. Sasha managed to get the MVP, Mike James, actually playing for Monaco. So, I don't know. I think that it might be a very interesting chapter. But again, I doubt it's all about the coach. It's about some roster limitations that they have, and bringing players like Donatas Motiejunas and Iago Dos Santos. I mean, defensively, they don't solve their issues that they have. Spacing wise, Donatas Motiejunas is not the guy you want to space the floor. He can make a 3-pointer, but that's a difference between, I don't know, it's a real stretch big man. So it's going to be interesting to see. Of course, this team should do better because they're still waiting for 5 players to return. Few of these players are key players on that roster. So we will see a different picture of Zvezda.
It's just 2 losses. But yeah, while you were talking, I counted 11th coach in since 2017. So it's 80 years, 11th coach. Sasha Obradovic is going to be 11th coach for Crvena Zvezda in the last 8 years. He was one of the guys in this 11 list, but it's just...
How many EuroLeague playoff appearances for Zvezda? Since 2017?
I think none. None.
So, I mean, does it work? Changing the head coach? I don't think so.
Let's see. Maybe this time it works.
Maybe this time he will last way longer than Sfairopoulos and all the other peers.